shadows have mating rituals. Makes perfect sense.
That's how shadow babies are made.
Yes.
I didn't consent to shadow breeding.
The other shadow is going to take a swipe at Chi Sim.
Hi.
22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
For 11 points of necrotic damage. And your strength score is reduced by 3.
I already.
So, and that reduction will last until you finish a short or long rest.
I already have 7 hit points left. Yay!
And what's your strength score now?
It is so minus 3 to 12.
So your strength score is a +1. So your strength score was 12?
Mm-hmm.
So no, your strength score is now 0. +0. And the last one is going to take a swipe at Mike.
How dare he?
22 to
How
hit.
dare he?
I guess, yeah, fine.
For 11 points of necrotic damage, and Mike's strength score is reduced by 3.
By 3?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, these guys are brutal.
You're gonna have to rest after this.
I'm gonna have to rest too. I'm almost dead.
I would love to rest.
Chi Sim, what would you like to do?
I would like to go to the back of the party, like kind of.
So you could use a bonus action to disengage.
Yes, I want to disengage and then move as far away as I possibly can to them.
Okay. So your best
She can
option.
still attack something while she's moving after starting with the disengage action.
Correct. So you can use bonus action to disengage. You can move, and you can make an attack.
I'll make an attack before I leave,
Okay.
but after I am ditching because
Yeah.
I'm almost dead.
I would move the joust.
14.
14 hits.
And then it's a D8, correct?
Correct.
For 5 points of damage.
Okay. And you are. I moved you as far away from enemies as you could be.
Okay, thank you.
Pepperell, what would you like to do? I'm going to sword burst and give everybody a suntan.
Once again, use sword burst
Okay.
because party members are adjacent, and I can do force to both of them. So the one I hexed is disadvantage on Dex DC 14.
Okay.
The other one also has DC 14, but not disadvantage.
So the one that you hex gets a nat 1. Your damage is doubled.
Oh, yay! 5 whole points. That's doubled.
The other one gets a 14 and saves. The one that is hexed dies.
Good.
Then I'll use my bonus action to move the hex to the other one,
Okay.
and he's disadvantage on Dex.
Okay.
I don't know, some weird.
I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna stand here and eat it.
Okay. Mike, you are in melee with a shadow.
I am. He's going to rage.
Good idea.
Sounds like a good idea. And then attack with his axe again.
Okay, go for it. Are you going to recklessly attack?
14 to hit.
That hits.
Uh, 17, so another 8 damage.
Okay, so this one is shredded. Anything? Oh, you already used your bonus. Did you want to move at all?
None of them are 20 feet away from me, so that. No, I'll stand there.
Okay. Helga, what would you like to do? So the odds are getting better.
So I'm here.
Correct.
Okay. I'll try and hit them.
Okay. This might be a good idea for you to do your defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably will. Ooh, I rolled a 19.
That hits. So with a first level spell slot, Divine Smite is 2d8, but because shadows are undead, it's 3d8. And they're vulnerable, so that will be double.
Okay, good. So it's 3d8 plus the melee thing?
Yep. Regular weapon attack plus 3d8. And double the 3d8.
6, 5, 4.
So essentially, your righteousness and good is going to F him up.
Okay, so the 3d8 doubled is 30 points. So they're like
Jesus
vaporized, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have to do the rest.
The paladin brings her sword of righteous fury down and does an obscene amount of damage, and this shadow just kind of explodes. Is there
Thank you.
anything you would like to do, move, or anything else?
Would that intimidate the other shadow at all?
I don't think shadows can really be intimidated.
Okay, never mind. I'm good with where I am.
Okay. Carice the Third, what would she like to do?
There's just that one last one down
Yep.
at the bottom there.
Yep.
Another magic missile, I suppose.
Okay.
No.
This could potentially end her.
11 damage.
Yep.
Nice.
Good.
That puts that shadow down.
Excellent.
So, let's see if there. So you have this. I don't know who's keeping track of loot, but there is a crystal orb worth 25 gold pieces,
Since
and it will work as an arcane focus.
I'm going
Carries is an arcane caster, so I guess she would like that.
Yeah, that probably would be good for a caster.
to, yeah.
Crystal orbs are always good for divination spells.
Is there anything else in here?
No, that is it. Do you guys want to take a short rest?
Yeah. I don't want to die, you know.
Yeah.
Just a personal preference.
I don't. Okay.
Yeah. Short rest for hit dice and spells and recoveries.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, you guys are. Go ahead and roll your hit dice and figure out your spell slots if you can get them back. Not everybody
Oh.
can with short rest.
Never mind.
And I will be right back.
I don't have any spell slots.
Oh yeah. Yeah. New character.
But I do get my health. Ah. And apparently singing.
Do we gain back any of our lost strength, etc.?
Yeah, I
I
think.
believe so.
Yo, where's the toothbrush? I'm just a goose that needs a toothbrush. Where would? No, I'm taking this.
So, my group last night, we were using this almost exact dungeon, and they were fighting fire giants. And in order to more adequately do fire giants, I purchased a fire giant. And you don't really have an idea of scale until you put a fire giant down, and then one of the regular sized guys goes up to attack it, and it's like, holy crap, you can like hit their ankle. It's like,
So do the people who lost strength, do they get it back from short, or do they
yes.
have to do
So
okay.
if you lost strength, you get your strength back to normal with a short rest.
All right, good.
So how are people doing on hit points after rolling a dice?
I am good. I don't.
So you should have 2 hit dice that you can roll.
I'm going to roll a challenge.
And don't forget, each hit dice that you roll, you get to add your con modifier.
I didn't get any spell slots back though, so we're kind of,
Right, yeah, you're out of spell slots.
yeah, we're out of healing and smiting.
Yep, I rolled the 1 and I'm back to full.
But we should figure
Mike
out,
is good on hit points.
Good.
maybe we can investigate the chanting now.
I think 12, and I originally have 18 hit points is pretty good. Because I don't want to use all of them.
Okay. So there is there's the hallway that you came in. There's your concealed door that goes to the east, and there is a door that is to the west.
Okay, I am going to exactly say, do we want to go to the chanting, or do we want to go somewhere secret?
I want to see the secret. Anybody else?
You guys want her to open the secret?
It's either you go to the chanting, or I reveal my secret.
We're
So-
here, we might as well explore the secret door.
So you
Oh,
open
it's just a secret door.
the secret door, and there is a steep staircase that goes up, and at the top it ends in a trap door. And when you investigate the trap door, the door is bolted shut from this side.
Take the bolt out.
Well, you can't get to the bolt, it's on the top.
What's the trap door made out of?
It's wood.
Just break it.
Go ahead and make a, so you can make a dex check with double your proficiency bonus and your dexterity modifier.
I can also use my crowbar to break the wood.
Well, kind of the same thing.
Okay. So it's plus what?
So roll a d20, add your dex modifier, and double your proficiency bonus.
Dex. And then my proficiency bonus.
So what'd you get?
15.
Okay. So you take your dagger and kind of pry up to the edge of the door, and you're able to flip the latch. And the trap door actually leads to the study in the house, or the den.
You've
with
been
all the
there
hunting
before,
trails.
right? Have you been there before?
I don't think you guys went into that one.
Well, while we're here, I'm going to explore it.
Okay. So the oak paneled room looks like a hunter's den. Mounted above the fireplace is a stag's head, and positioned around the outskirts of the room are 3 stuffed wolves. There are 2 padded chairs draped in animal furs that are facing a large hearth, with an oak table between them supporting a cask of wine. 2 carved wooden goblets, a pipe rack, and a candelabra. A chandelier hangs above a cloth-covered table surrounded by 4 chairs. 2 cabinets stand against the wall.
I'm immediately going to the wine.
Okay, so the cask of wine it's a wooden cask of wine, and stamped, burned into the side with a branding iron is a symbol of what looks like grape leaves, and it says Wizards of Wine Winery.
Does anybody want any wine?
Well, I'll always take some, sure.
mind break.
That's what I always say.
So that's the main thing in here, I guess.
Yeah, there's 2 cabinets next to the wall.
Right there.
Okay.
Yup, we do.
Does anyone feel like checking them for traps?
What about
I will.
Okay.
We have those two.
You investigate the cabinets. They do not appear to be trapped.
Great. Let's rifle through them.
The eastern cabinet is locked, however.
Because on one hand,
I can try to picklock it.
Yep. Go for it.
on the other hand,
And what's that again?
So dexterity modifier plus 2 times your proficiency.
Okay.
they keep reprinting in various ways.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it
They're also
this
supposed
time.
to come in the water. I do that, I'm not getting. They're coming in Modern
10?
Horizon 2.
Nope. You are having a problem picking the lock.
Hey, rogue!
He's not here,
Darn it!
but I will go ahead and roll.
Okay. How much are the collectors, please, sir?
He, however, is able to pick the lock.
Yay.
Inside, you find a heavy crossbow, a light crossbow, and a hand crossbow. And there are 60 bolts, 20 for each. The
I-
north cabinet is unlocked and holds a small box containing a deck of playing cards and an assortment of wine glasses.
First I'm gonna trade my short bow for a light crossbow.
Okay. Do you want the light crossbow or the hand crossbow?
I mean, which one's better?
Let me double check something.
Because I think the heavy one I'm not proficient in.
You are proficient with hand crossbow.
Okay, then I'll get the hand crossbow.
Okay. So does anybody want a heavy crossbow?
Or light.
You guys
Or
have
light.
a burning catacombs, you know?
Carrie's is just gonna take some of the bolts.
Okay. Anybody else?
I don't think I'm proficient in anything.
Let's see. It's very rare that I look at a paladin and be like, no, they're not proficient in that.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe I should take
Yeah, simple weapons and martial weapons. So you.
That's a negative.
Did you get any fetches?
So the heavy crossbow is a martial ranged weapon. Light crossbow is a simple weapon. So you're proficient in either one.
Strahd is the only one.
Okay, I'll take the
that we got
heavy
here.
crossbow.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 1d10 piercing. However, it does have the loading
Cavern is
trait.
pretty.
What do you have to tell me?
Let me see what that
Have you
is.
looked at our deck forever since the card
So
came
just
out?
so that we are clear, because of time required to load this weapon, you can fire only 1 piece of ammunition from it when you use an action, bonus action, or reaction.
Okay, so it's like a musket, right?
Yeah.
So I can load it and then.
So even if you have 2 attacks, you can only make 1 shot because it has the loading.
They are
Alright.
30 for one.
But it does 1d10 piercing damage.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna get 7
basically a
spots
pocket
and
ballista.
2 collectors.
And then that leaves the light crossbow for anybody that wants to take it.
No, I wouldn't. Easy, right?
There you go. That's
And you get 20 bolts.
definitely worth it.
Alright, alright.
So that is all that is in this room. Did you want to continue towards the chanting?
I do. Anybody else?
I got
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, one for you. It's cheaper to buy 2.
I cast false life on myself again.
It's 15 for 2 or 30.
Okay.
Alright. 2 collectors, 1 set box, 190 health.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So you go down the stairs. Oops. And at the bottom is a landing. And on this landing, I guess landing is the wrong word. It's more of a small room.
It does triple damage.
You find a large frame bed with a rotted feather mattress.
It's a mid.
And standing around the room, you find a number of small relics that have been stored in niches in the wall.
Can you tilt the camera up?
Yes.
Here. No fire damage.
Okay.
Good.
So, in these niches are a number of small relics. The first that you find is a small mummified yellow hand with sharp claws on a loop of rope. You find a knife carved from a human bone, a dagger with a rat skull set into the pommel, an 8-inch diameter varnished orb made from a Nothic's eye, an aspergillum carved from bone. There's a folded cloak made from stitched ghoul skin. A desiccated, I'm sorry, what?
Sexy.
Folded cloak made from stitched ghoul skin, a desiccated frog that is lashed to a stick. Have Carrie the Third make a Arcana check.
It'd be interesting to try to find a way to build it, like target that.
Why is there a frog on a stick?
I think
Arcana.
this is definitely
11.
Carrie believes that the stick with the desiccated frog lashed to it may be a wand of polymorph, but is not entirely certain.
I got the four.
Well, she will take the stick and
I built.
the rat skull dagger.
Okay.
Except I built non-roof.
There's also a.
I'd like to examine that. I'd like to examine that attractive cloak of ghoul skin. That sounds nifty.
You might
Okay.
be able to disguise yourself with this, but I was thinking.
I'm not.
There is also a leather bag full of bat guano.
That's it, Sean.
Fun.
That's the material component for fireball. Don't
On it,
forget.
right?
And you're
There is the severed finger of a hag.
Oh, cool.
Yay.
There is a 6-inch tall wooden figurine of a mummy with its arms crossed over its chest.
He was like 20 cards deep into the deck.
An iron pendant adorned with a devil's face. And it looks like the mouth of this devil's face is open in a big O. There's a shrunken, shriveled head of a halfling. And there's a small wooden coffer containing a dire wolf's withered tongue.
And then
It's a little bit damaged there.
Fun. I guess I'll take the tongue.
the person playing control.
The southernmost portion of this room continues down like 3 short steps and is then drops into murky water, and there's a rusted iron portcullis that is shut, and you can see that there's a room beyond the portcullis.
It's a bad bag.
There's another
Only as good as your
western passage
All those are good.
that
So you can't
zigzags around and continues further.
put your price there.
I've been wanting to build a good tripod.
Is there a lever other thing to raise the portcullis?
5 mana.
Um,
Steel.
No.
Legendary thing.
But you could try to lift it manually if you'd like.
I could help.
So if Helga helps you, you can make the check with advantage.
Ley line of singularity.
Make everything like,
20 packs each. 20 packs?
Mike got a 22.
My dad.
Oh yeah,
My dad.
you can lift open the portcullis.
Let's just get this.
And I take it everybody wants to move into that room? Or you want to just leave Mike
Sure.
hanging?
I mean, he'll stand there. Whatever. Become part of Alex.
Good luck with the boxes.
All right. So the chanting is really loud, and you move into the final room, which oddly enough looks exactly like the room you guys were fighting the shadows in.
It's like deja vu.
Mike is holding open the portcullis. The second that you step into this chamber, the chanting stops. But there's nobody in here.
Man, I wanted to chant with them.
And
Like-
you see
Wait. Ooh, if there were cultists, I could have shapeshifted into a cultist and started chanting with them.
the chanting that you were hearing now that you were closer, before it stopped, was, "He is the ancient, he is the land." Over and over again. And then when you step into the room, it stops. The chanting stops as you peer into this 40-foot square room. The smooth masonry walls provide excellent acoustics. Featureless stone pillars support the ceiling, and a breach in the west wall leads to a dark cave heaped with refuse. Murky water covers most of the floor. Stairs lead up to dry stone ledges that hug the walls. In the middle of the room, more stairs rise to form an octagonal dais that also rises above the water. Rusty chains with shackles hang dangling from the ceiling directly above the stone altar mounted on the dais. The altar is carved with hideous depictions of gasping ghouls and is stained with dried blood.
Fun.
This place is icky.
This place is fun.
What would you like to do?
Guess investigate around the place. Maybe see where the chanting came from.
It's probably fine.
Okay.
I start
good.
taking measures for my Airbnb ad.
Or not, because I'm got a 5.
Okay.
Wait, let's just go ask him.
So you're investigating where the chanting might come from,
Huh? That's
and you, with a 5, you wander over to the dais. She wanders over to the dais, and once again the chanting rises as 13 dark apparitions appear on the ledges overlooking the room. Each one resembles a black-robed figure holding a torch, but the torch's fire is black and seems to draw light into it. Where you expect to see faces in the hoods are voids. The chant over and over, "One must die, one must die, one must die."
Then sacrifice one of yourselves.
Who's one?
So,
Wait, is it a possibility that I could shapeshift into one of them?
Helga, go ahead and make a religion check.
Are they considered something I can shapeshift into?
Which one do you want? Yeah.
I really wanted to be in a cult.
Man, I seriously rolled a 5. That's lame.
Why is guard?
That is enough. You determine that what they're chanting
My moon, I can get that too.
is that you must sacrifice a creature on the altar.
I know. That's how I.
Do we
To count
have-
as a sacrificed creature must die on the altar. The apparitions don't care what kind of creature is sacrificed,
Hey,
and they are not going to be fooled by illusions.
Okay,
hey, do you know where any living creatures are, buddies?
there's gotta be like some snails or something in here, right? Like, or some rats.
Have we passed like a rat or something that we could just hand them?
No. However, everybody make a perception check.
Okay. Roll perception.
18.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yes, it is. It's like.
I got 17. Okay.
18.
good nature skills.
I have -1 in nature.
I have +1, that's it, so it's not very good.
I have good survival.
How about Mike? How's Mike's nature skills?
Mike's nature is a 2, Carrie's nature is a 2, and Carrie's got an 18 for perception.
Okay.
Mike's with
Mike,
nothing else.
Mike, make a nature check.
Come on, nature.
10.
With your 10, you determine that the refuse pile isn't really a refuse pile. It is a sleeping, shambling mound.
Alright. Should be good there.
Oh,
Should we rope it up and drag it up there?
okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Teamwork.
I'm gonna strategically, like, without being aggressive, kind of put myself between the shambling mound and the party.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. I've never dealt with a shambling mound.
What's that?
Yeah, they're kind of nasty.
Can we rope? We have like a lot of rope. Like a lot.
So it's basically a walking vegetable garbage pile.
Aww. I kind of like it.
I want to keep
It's
it
so
now.
It's gonna turn into compost and
Yes.
then pretty flowers and trees. All for us to approve. How big is it?
It is large. So it is like the size of a stunted hill giant.
Is it friendly?
No.
Okay.
But it is sleeping.
Huh.
Can
we
you
have-
tilt
do
the
we-
camera
Do we
down
have
again?
to kill
Yep,
it
sorry.
on the altar?
You what?
Do we have to kill it on the altar?
Yes. If you want to count as the sacrifice, it has to be killed on the altar.
I think we should look for a smaller creature,
I'll keep an eye on this creature
maybe.
while they go and look for something else.
I don't know if we can get out of here actually. To
Can
go
we?
find a critter?
Can we just rope one of the cultists?
We gotta be killed everything before now.
What do you want to do?
I'll keep an eye on the creature if they want to go look around for something to use
Okay.
that's smaller.
I'm gonna pray because that's what
I'll go
you
move
do
to the
when you
back
know
side of the altar.
what to do.
I mean,
Okay.
technically, I did mention that it was a creature.
It is a creature.
But she hasn't said it to the party.
Didn't say nothing.
That's true. That is a good point. So so Mike hasn't told anybody that the shambling mound is a shambling mound. As far as you guys are concerned, she's put herself between you and a pile of garbage.
What's with the pile of garbage?
You'd think little rats would live in the pile of garbage or something.
Plants.
The chanting continues. One must die. One must die. One must die.
Okay, we get it. Guys, can you chant something else?
Well, I have nothing to live for, so I'll just hoist myself up.
I'm an assassin.
Does anybody have a familiar we can sacrifice?
No. Any pets?
So the chanting does change. Now they're saying, Morgoth the Decayer, we awaken thee.
Oh, crap.
The end comes, death be praised.
Oh, man, we waited too long.
And the
I'm the gatekeeper. You're the keymaster.
yes,
Oh, no.
the shambling mound awakens. Everybody roll initiative, and Mike is going to get a surprise attack on the shambling mound.
Jeez, you guys were too loud.
Pepperell, what'd you get?
You should have gotten her.
19.
And Mike.
I'm going to scold the cultists for being too loud.
What'd you get for... Oh,
Mike got a net 20 for a 23.
Okay.
Carrie's got a 12.
Okay. Chi-Sin, what'd you get?
I got a 10.
And Helga.
17.
Nice. All right, Mike, you get a surprise attack on the shambling man. Who's actually known as Lorgoth the Decayer.
Apparently.
Well, Mr. Whatever the Decayer.
Mr. Decayer, sir.
22 to hit him with my axe
Yes, that hits.
for 7 damage.
Okay. And you are first in initiative, so you get to go again.
More than the last time to hit for 6 damage.
Okay. It is definitely awake now. Is there anything else Mike would like to do? Or are you just going to stay put?
I'll stay there next to the mound.
Okay.
Where are the cultists in all this?
So the cultists, these dark-robed figures, are up all along this edge around the room. There's 13 of them. But you cannot see their face when you look at where the hood is open. You just see a black void. Pepperell Doohickey, what would you like to do?
I will use my, hold on, I gotta check range, 30 feet. I will move 2 squares forward over the other side of the altar.
Okay.
Use my bonus action to put Hexblade's Curse on the Shambling Mound.
Okay.
And then I will cast Witchblade on it.
I'm gonna
Witch
ask.
Bolt. Witch Bolt.
Okay.
I'm going to ask Mike, why is this heap of trash moving?
Yeah, the rogue, Chi-Sin the rogue is probably still confused since she only got a 5 on her investigation checks. I don't know what's going on.
Thanks for the heads up, Mike.
Does a 16 ranged spell attack hit the Shambling Mound?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so it's got a Witch Bolt on it. 1d12 lightning plus 2 for the Hex.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Wait, I'm away
It's
from
an
it,
evil attack.
correct?
6 lightning plus 2. Hold on, I gotta be sure the damage type for the curse. Just says 2 bonus, so 8 lightning.
So you cast Witch Bolt, and you hit, and it takes the lightning goes into it, and the Shambling Mound heals 8 hit points.
What?
Oh, that's not good.
Wait, what healed it? Lightning?
Yeah, he hit it with Witch Bolt. Is there anything else that Pepperell would like to do?
Please, don't do that
I'll move
again.
2 squares back in shock that it didn't do what I thought.
Pepperell's like, oops, my bad. Sorry, guys, sorry.
Roll.
Helga, what would you like to do?
I'll fire my crossbow, heavy crossbow at it.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Nice. Double damage.
1d10 piercing. I got the 10, so 20.
Yep.
Cool.
That hits.
I did something.
Yeah. 20 points of piercing damage to the Shambling Mound.
Nice.
Is there anything else Helga would like to do? You have a bonus action, your movement.
I should probably move away from it somewhat if I can.
Okay.
And,
move like over here.
alright, I think I'll do that for now.
Okay. Curious the third.
Wait, like,
Firebolt.
Okay.
For a 19 to hit.
Yes.
5 fire damage.
So you note that the shambling mound only takes 2 fire damage.
That face.
It's too green and wet. It doesn't want to burn. A lot of smoke.
That smells awesome too.
Yeah, smoking garbage. Is there anything else
Yay.
Curious the Third would like to do?
Find a trash bag for it.
I got the glad bag.
Preferably clean scented.
This shambling mound smells like lawn clippings.
Chi Sim, what would you like to do?
I would like to. How close am I to it? Am I far
20
away?
feet.
I'd like to back up another 10 feet.
Okay, so on the other side of the altar. Okay,
And I'd like to shoot it with my hand crossbow.
go for it.
Do I add anything to a crossbow?
Your dexterity modifier.
Dexterity. Or I'm not gonna hit it.
What'd you get?
10.
Nope, that is a miss. So for future reference, your hand crossbow does 1d6 piercing damage.
Okay.
The shambling mound. Let's see here. The shambling mound is going to attack Mike. It gets 2 slam attacks. Ugh. Misses with a 9. So at least it won't get the engulf attack. Oh, come on.
Listen.
16 to hit.
Unfortunately, that hits.
Okay. I can get my dice out. For 18 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow, my head.
Ow, my head.
So how's Mike feeling?
A little under half health.
Wow. That is rather tough.
Yeah, they are.
He's
What would Mike like to do?
fly into a barbarian rage because ow, that hurt.
Good idea.
And then attack with the great axe.
Okay.
And miss. That's too much.
What'd you get?
7?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
nice.
9?
Is there anything else Mike wants to do?
Roar at it intimidatingly?
I cast Leaf Blower. Pepperell, what would you like to do?
I will change my Witch Bolt off concentration, use my bonus action to cast Hex at it instead.
Okay.
I will deny it dexterity saves, or
Okay.
make it disadvantage. Move up 30 feet to be to the right of Mike. And attack him it with my longsword.
Go for it.
A whopping 8.
No.
That's all I got. I'm done.
Helga. So now, if you were to make a heavy crossbow attack, you'd be at disadvantage because it is thoroughly in combat with Mike and
Yeah.
Pepperell.
Okay, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Am I able to hit it from there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try and hit it then.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. That does not count, does it?
If it's a good roll, it's laying flat on the floor, that's fine.
It's like a 4 now.
Oh, well, I did re-roll it.
Okay. It escaped from me. It's not much better. I got 8, so 10 altogether.
No, that is a miss.
Damn it. Alright.
You can't do the big damage anyways, you're at spell slots, huh?
Yeah, I was just trying to help a little bit. Help is the action, not a bonus action, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay, alright. I think I'm out of action then.
Okay.
And
Carries the third.
Chill touch. It's necrotic damage.
Okay.
13 to hit.
That is a miss.
Exactly.
Okay. Chisim,
Can I still shoot it with a crossbow?
you would be at disadvantage.
Then I'll prepare for when I can without disadvantage.
Okay, so you're readying your crossbow attack action for when you have a clear shot.
Yes.
Okay. The shambling mound is this time going to attempt to hit Pepple.
No.
This is with an 11, I can only imagine.
Good.
25 to hit.
No.
For 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Glad I cast false life on myself.
And give me just a moment, I will be right back. As I snap my ears.
This game's art style hasn't really changed very much.
oh yeah, it's like all cell shaded.
I thought maybe the older Borderlands would have looked a little different.
Mike would like to successfully attack.
Okay. I'll allow it.
26.
That hits.
Nice.
Huzzah.
All you need to do is ask.
15 damage.
Okay. Got him. Now, Pepperell, make a religion check.
I like the skags. They're cute.
A 1. My bonus 2.
Okay, so go ahead and make it is your turn to do what you will.
Can I use an inspiration point to let him re-roll that one?
You can.
Okay.
Roll that.
Here goes. A 10 plus 1, so an 11 this time.
So with your 11, you realize that if you want the shambling mound to count, you have to kill it on the altar.
Okay, I will share that information that if we can, we should walk it towards the altar. And then
Wait, I'm
I
on the other
will-
side of the altar, right?
Yep.
You mean throw it? Good idea.
Hey guys! Hey guys! Get its attention onto me.
Well, on your turn, you can do that.
I need people to move out of my way too.
Well, there, yeah. So,
I will use the disengage action and retreat 30 feet to the other side of the altar.
okay. So you're ready to action. You now have a clear shot. Go ahead and make your attack.
What?
6.
Nope, you missed.
Not a one, so that's good.
Is there anything else that you would like to do, Pepperell?
Nope.
Okay. Helga, what would you like to do?
I'll start retreating to
To the altar.
moving towards the altar.
So are you're going to take the disengage action and move?
25 feet, yeah.
Okay.
As far as I can move. I suppose yell stuff.
No profanities.
Yell dwarvish profanities.
Well, I'm a paladin, so I probably have to like cutesy.
Your mother was fat like a hill giant.
Oh, okay. That works too. Gotten a little personal.
Carries the third.
Carries will also run farther away from the thing.
Okay.
Come over towards us. Behind the altar.
Party.
Have a party behind the altar.
We have cookies.
All the cool kids are here.
Yay, cookies.
Okay. Sim, what would you like to do?
I would
Make
like
another attack.
try to.
Okay. That hits.
And crossbow is
1d6 piercing damage plus your dexterity modifier.
which is this. No, not this one. It's gonna be like this one, isn't it? No. This is a D8. Oh wait, yeah. Never mind. I don't remember. Plus my dexterity. For a total of 4.
Okay. So the shambling mound is going to attempt to hit Mike.
Makes sense.
Nat 20.
Oh no.
No, no, no.
Whales. Is this bludgeoning damage or slashing or piercing?
It's bludgeoning.
Woo!
for
I have
24
resistance
points
to that
of
one,
bludgeoning
right?
damage.
Oh crap. Oh man.
You said 24?
Yes.
So that 12. Mike is at -1. I don't know what that means in 5e terms.
So Mike is at 0 hit points and is down. The shambling man
Huzzah!
then
Does anybody have inspiration for that? Oh man.
is going to move here and make a slam attack on Helga. And miss with a 9.
That's right. Sure did miss.
You better miss. Mike. So you get to make your first death save. Roll a raw d20. If you get a 10 or better, that is a success. A 9 or lower is a failure. A 1 counts as 2 failures, and a nat 20 counts as 2 successes.
17.
So you have 1 success. You need 3 successes to stabilize. 3 failures means that you are into the ether.
Or whichever comes first, pretty much.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
if she's close, if she dies, that's, put her on the altar.
Well, there are some good things about Barovia. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a good thing that if you die, you don't get to move on to the afterlife. More than likely, you'll come back in some form or another. Pepperell, what would you like to do?
I will vault over the altar and attack.
Okay. Make your attack.
What's something that would grab this thing's
Does a
attention?
15 hit?
Yes.
For 13 plus 5, 18 points of damage.
Ooh, that's pretty good. He is hurt. Anything else?
Then I will. I'll stay on top of the altar until other people come into play.
Okay. Help.
Still, it's got disadvantage on dex saves if anyone has spells to help with that.
Yes. It also, you can tell from when it moved, it does not appear to be very dexterous to begin with. So, yeah. On dex saves, it's going to be better. Helga, what would you like to do?
Am I able to get over to Mike?
You are in melee with the shambling man.
Okay. Thought I was waiting for it. Yeah, I'm right next to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a potion of heroism that I can give to Mike in a minute or two. Does the shambling mound look hurt at all?
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty badly chopped up.
okay. All right. Is it on the altar?
We should
No.
we
Oh.
should
Not yet.
not like do
I should
too
try
much damage
and
to
lure it to it then, right? Let's see. So it'll kind of shamble up, do you think? Or do you think it'll go around?
It could. So if you use the disengage action and move, yeah.
Well,
You're trying to lure it to get up onto the altar.
yeah, I didn't know if that was disengaging or just moving, you know, like.
Well, if
a
you
step
move without
back.
disengaging, it gets an attack of opportunity.
Oh, okay.
And the shambling mound has a +7 to hit, so and it hits, like a freight train. So you probably
So I should smack it and then move.
no. If you want to move at all, what I would recommend is disengage and move.
Disengage and move. Okay.
Somebody put some shambling mound treats on the altar.
Ruby Rex?
Okay, I'll disengage and move, I guess, up here.
Okay. You can do that.
Alright.
Carice the third.
Give you an idea. one that is doing something for me.
I was trying to see something so far. No go. Go ahead and take the turn.
Okay. Let me attempt to look up a spell here.
Okay.
Well, it's a plant, so it probably wouldn't work. I'll find out.
It is a large plant.
I imagine Vicious Mockery, the enchantment, wouldn't exactly work on it.
It is not immune or resistant to psychic damage.
Well, then I'll do that thing.
All right.
It must succeed a wisdom save.
Okay. It's going to take double damage. It rolled a nat 1.
Sweet. 6 damage.
Okay.
Wait, you don't want to hurt it.
And it has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Okay.
Okay, please
Your
don't
mother
kill
was
it
a
before we get
dandelion.
before we get it onto the altar.
You what?
Please don't kill it before we get it onto the
Nice.
altar.
She
We're
said.
trying.
I'd like to try to get it over here, so like get its attention.
Here's what you could do. You could move up to it and attempt to make a grapple check. What is your strength?
12.
So it has an 18 strength.
I don't think I'd be able to do that.
I mean, the chances of it beating you on a grapple check is pretty high, but that is an option.
I don't think I'm going to be able to do it on my own.
Okay. So what would you like to do?
You could sneak around and render aid because you're a sneaky rogue, right?
That's true. You could move around it and use the help action and give everybody else advantage.
I will do that.
Okay. So
Well, at least try.
So Chisim moves around and is going to give everybody else the help action, so you have advantage on the attack. On the Shambling Mound's turn,
You think this could be the wand of some sort.
the Shambling Mound is going to make 2 attacks against, at disadvantage, against Pepperell.
Okay.
Come on, Pepperell. You can do it.
24 to hit.
That was the disadvantage. They suck.
I rolled a 17 and a nat 20.
Between the two.
And the second attack is a 13 to hit.
Does not.
So the one slam,
I'm resistant to psychic damage. Does that matter?
no. 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm at 0.
Okay. Pepperell drops, and the Shambling Mound steps up onto the altar, but is out of attacks.
Did Pepperell just die on the altar though?
That's the altar Pepperell dies on.
He's not dead, he's just down.
That's a good point, though.
Did I?
I
So
feel happy.
the Shambling Mound drops Pepperell to 0 hit points, and then turns and retreats back to its corner. So, before we do that,
Did it climb on the altar or did it retreat?
so it climbed up on the altar. We'll go ahead and leave it there. Mike, make another death save.
Well, I have a heroism potion.
So on your
That's
turn,
the-
you can move over and do that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
What'd you get, Mike?
3.
Oh, you got 1 failure.
help
Yep.
you, Mike.
Pepperell, make a death save.
Oity doity doity.
If
15.
Pepperell dies,
So you have one success.
if Pepperell dies, does he count since he's on the altar?
We must, right?
That's true. Helga, what would you like to do?
I'll
Good
go.
thought. Worthwhile.
Let's see. Which one should I say?
Carrie said that they were gonna use
I'm closest to
the
Mike, I think.
inspiration for a reroll on Mike's death.
Okay.
Or doctor.
Go ahead and re-roll your death save.
I think I'm the closest one to Mike, so you probably want to
Sure.
get Pepperell.
What'd you get, Mike?
19.
Okay, that's a second success.
Alright, I guess since I'm right next to Pepperell,
You're gonna give him the potion of heroism.
he gets 10 temporary hit points and
So,
less.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I'm going to wing it. So, Pepperell, she pours a potion of heroism down your throat. You are at 10 hit points. And
Okay.
you are back up.
He gets blessed. too.
And you have blessed for an hour.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Carries the third. What would you like to do?
Well, now that it's on the altar, let's go with chill touch.
Okay.
20 to hit.
Yep.
4 damage.
Okay. Chi-Sim, what would you like to do?
Help Mike up.
Okay. So, do you have a healing potion at all? Go ahead and make a medicine check.
Don't worry, Mike. I have a +0. I'm meant to be killing people, so you will be absolutely fine.
I don't have any training in medicine. Here, I'll stitch up these wounds. Also, while you were unconscious, I removed these pesky testicles. I didn't think that you would need them.
That is an
Well-
improvement from Mike.
12 is exactly what you needed. Mike is stable at 0 hit points and unconscious.
Okay, not dying.
Not dying.
Don't worry, I didn't take any of your kidneys. I decided to save those
Takes
for
a kidney
later.
and stitches you up. The shambling mound like I said, the shambling mound retreats to its corner.
Be ready for you.
Helga, if you'd like, you can make a attack of opportunity.
They're not on the altar though?
They leave the altar.
Well, crap.
But as they leave the altar, because Pepperell had dropped to 0 hit points, the apparitions of the cultists, the chanting stops and they disappear.
Did they count
An
that as
accidental
a?
sacrifice.
Did
Yes, Pepperell was an accidental sacrifice. And the
Even though-
shambling mound gets back to the corner
Sorry.
and lays back down and goes back to sleep.
Is it evil?
I have to change something.
Can we
Yes.
still kill
Okay,
it?
I don't want to kill it then if it's not evil.
Technically speaking, shambling mounds are unaligned.
Your thing along.
Alright.
Thanks.
Does it have any kidneys?
Your dad's card.
Maybe. And
Think
then
that giant poinsettia has kidneys. However, the rest, what you hear throughout the house is like unlocking of doors.
what?
Excuse me, lock those doors back up.
Huh. Well,
And all the doors open.
we need to deal with our hit points problem before we go examining any doors.
Yeah, I literally haven't changed type in 7 years. So it's a different amount. So I'm like, oh, look here. It's fraud.
So if somebody unconscious at 0 hit points, if you take a long rest, are you able to get them back? Or do you have to go?
Yeah, so, you guys bundle up Mike, and what you discover is that evidently this is the house. You have determined that the house is an entity in and of itself.
You're welcome.
And it had lured you here to make a sacrifice on their altar.
Crap, and we did it.
And when you did it, the house holds no ill will towards you and essentially unlocks all the doors and lets you out of the house. And you get back up to the surface level. And when you open up the front door, when the last time you had left, the mists of Barovia had come to within 10 feet of the door and you couldn't see past them. Now the mists have swirled to the edges and you can get out into the street.
I thought we boarded up the door.
Yes, and it is no longer boarded up and the doors are open.
Hold
The
on.
house is inviting you to leave. And you get out into the street. Everybody gets 3rd level.
Yay.
And you can take a long rest outside the house. You certainly aren't going to want to stay the night in a haunted house that is its own entity. I mean, yeah, I'll stay the night in Amityville. I mean, why not?
Hey, all I need is a stock of heal potions for the guests. Every night, someone sacrifices themselves. We throw them a heal potion.
Right, right.
We've proven the system.
Yeah, you all get 3rd level, and you will take it. We'll allow this as a long rest that you can sleep it off in the yard.
Yay! Since I leveled up, I got 26 hit points.
Nice. And we will pick this up next week, moving into the village of Barovia proper.
Sounds awesome. That was.
Thank you for the heroism potion. That got me back up. I appreciate it.
Hey, you gave me an inspiration point, so thank you.
Is next week still in store?
So next week will be our last game in the shop,
Okay.
and I will come up with payment options and all of that for the following week, and we will be playing, and of course, address and directions to my place, and that's where we will pick up after
When your
that.
dad comes, I think you need some.
Okie dokie.
I can ask him
Okay,
if
yeah.
he'll come.
Because we can figure something out. I live right near that bar. So,
The what?
the Weimar Damascus?
Really?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where my grandma works.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking it might be convenient. Because I swear I've seen it there waiting for it. Yeah.
Yeah, she works there.
Yeah, so we can figure something out.
She's thing 2, known throughout the because there's 2 Lynette.
All right, I will talk to you guys
And
next
they
week.
both go by either,
Thank you
and
all.
both their nicknames is Nut and Nuts. And
Later.
both of their last names start with P.
And thank you for watching our stream. We will see you next week.
And so, they have to go by, they basically go by thing 1